Hi there and welcome to our Let's Roleplay Qara Qoyunlu Sultanate in 1444. So first the base settings, the game is on hard, lucky nations are random, everything else is standard vanilla, all DLCs are enabled, most of the fun to look at packs and music packs too, so the candy is there. And what does Let's Roleplay mean in that context? Now, it means that we will look at what's our ruler, what are his traits, what are his abilities, and we're trying to play him as he would be personally. So we're not trying to play the optimal game from like a computer objective point of view. We're trying to see what would our ruler do in the position he's in with the traits and abilities he has. I mean, if he, for an example, if he is good in diplomacy, he would probably rather go for a diplomatic solution than if he is good in military and less good in diplomacy. He wouldn't just get the idea of diplomacy, and so he'd rather go, hey, let's build more military to protect us, instead of, hey, let's make more allies to protect us. So that's one example. There are, of course, overarching plans, and maybe the heirs will continue the plans if they don't differ too much from their forefathers, or if they differ much, they might just screw the plan and go for something completely else if they are very different. So, the idea behind that is that history has been led by great men and also women. They had made great decisions, but some of the decisions were also bonkers, and some of the decisions were totally ingenious and totally different from a logical decision, different from a decision that would have been the rational one, maybe the safe one. So we might go for really risky decisions. If it fits our ruler, we might go for a little bit, even timid decisions if our ruler has high diplomacy, very low military, for example. He might not want to go to war, even if there is a nice opening. So, there's that. And why Qara Qoyunlu? We'll go into that. Now, first, I want to go through the flavor text, because it's very interesting. But just the first look at the map, I know if we close that, it won't be shown again. So I just have to talk about the main things of the map. Like from here, we have the Mamluks, the Timurids. We have, as you see here, Qara Qoyunlu, the Ottomans, and the Great Horde. So we are surrounded by big powers that want us harm, basically. They are a different religion. We are Shiites. They are mostly, as you can see, Sunni. So this is one of the great challenges of Qara Qoyunlu. While Qara Qoyunlu has extremely good ideas for a country to lead great wars and to later make a great empire, and has the ability to become either a Mughal empire, if you expand into that direction to India, or Persia, if you go for the traditional Arabian area. So there's a lot of chances to be had in that too. And the problems are so big that it makes for an exciting start. Like, half of the country is unhappy because most of the people are Sunni, some are Coptic, and the government is Shiite, but no one else seems to be Shiite. And that is really fascinating, and that led also to the downfall of the first ruler. We are playing Jahan Shah in the original history. So he finally lost the battle against the smaller brother, Qoyunlu, and there he was killed. And then his heir took over, and the heir was totally a very bad choice. He didn't do it, he just screwed it up, and that was the end of Qara Qoyunlu. And we are not going to, I mean, we are going to suffer from the heir, all right, probably, but we're not going to go down, hopefully at least. So, what is the overview we get from the game? Apart from all these interesting things you can go for. The country, the Qara Qoyunlu Sultanate. The origin of Qara Qoyunlu, or the Black Sheep, hence the horde of the Black Sheep, maybe the dark powers of the sheep, is somewhat unclear, though their own tradition has them as descendants of the great August Khans of the past. For over a century now, the Black Sheep have been trying to carve out an empire for themselves in Azerbaijan and Iraq. And they are mainly Iranians. Like many other powers in the area, they were crushed by the Central Asian warlord Timur of the Timurids, who swept through from Iran to Anatolia, casting aside all who would oppose him. Timur is now dead, and his son, Shah Rukh, has spent a lifetime trying to keep his father's Timurid empire together. This has allowed the Qara Qoyunlu to rise again, and under Jahan Shah, one of the greatest ruler of the age and very good at shock, they have retaken not only Tabriz, which is our capital, but all lands from the borders of Georgia to the swamps of the Shatt al-Arab in southern Iraq. So, great chances, but we have to stabilize this block. To the west, the Qoyunlu, or White Sheep, are embroiled in a lengthy civil war between countless claimants. The White Sheep are the traditional rivals of the Qara Qoyunlu, still small at this moment, and could perhaps prove a worthy enemy in time. For now, however, the Ottoman Empire in Anatolia and the Mamluks in Egypt are more dangerous neighbors. At the end of 1444, the Timurid Empire is still a constant threat to the east, but the aging Shah Rukh is reported to have grown sick and impotent. From east to west, his sons and grandsons are preparing for a succession war that is all but assured. Indeed, the news of illness have been enough for Muhammad bin Baisonkor in Ajam, which is another of our rivals and a very big country too, to break his ties to his grandfather from the Timurids. So this is a split up from here. In his thirst for glory, the young prince seems oblivious to the threat posed by Jahan Shah and the Black Sheep. The power of the sheep will come. We are warm all the time because of our black rule, and we are numerous, as you can see here. We're the black sheep of the family by being Shiites when everyone else is Sunni. So the religion, being the black sheep, has some things. I mean, the chance of the new heir is increased by 100%, so we might have a long line, a long family tradition coming. Moral of armies plus 5% is always useful. Shiite rulers have a piety value that measures their policies toward Islamic orthodoxy. This piety ranges from mysticism to legalism with different bonuses on different ends. Society moves towards legalism through choices in events, declaring war on infidels and heretics as well as converting provinces. Mysticism makes it easier to convert provinces, and once you convert them, you come closer to legalism, which makes it harder to convert the provinces, but which gives you more out of these provinces. So we move towards mysticism by declaring war on fellow Muslims and through choices in events and other interactions. That will probably be very interesting with mysticisms. Other religions in the Muslim group are Sunni and Ibadi. Shiite provinces exist in Iran, which is our territory, and the southern parts of Arabia. All Muslim countries belong to a school that give different bonuses. Schools also have opinions of each other that change during the course of the game, and that will have an effect on the relations between the countries that follow them. These countries following a school can invite scholars from other schools to combine their bonuses for 20 years, but only if you have good relations with the countries sending them out. We have the Ismaili school and an Ismaili scholar giving yearly devotion +1, legitimacy +1, horde unity, because we are the horde of the black sheep +1, and strangely republican tradition +0.5. Whoa. So, we were a horde, but we are not a horde anymore, it seems. I mean, it's a mix. It's a sultanate that has a tribal form of government, as you can see here. The Azerbaijani Sultanate. What does that mean for us? It means that the ruler is in place for life, and that his succession is dependent on having a designated heir. We have a very bad one. A really, really bad heir. I mean, you can see him from here. He's called the Shahzadeh Hasan Ali Qara Qoyunlu. Also, if you're versed in the pronunciation of the names, please write me. I should pronounce them. I'm not that apt in it. I try my best. So, we have a bold fighter. He has 5 military skill, Jahan Shah, 4 diplomatic and 3 administrative. He's really, really good. And he's still young. He's 24. And Hasan Ali Qara Qoyunlu is only 6 and has bad skills. He's administrative 2, diplomatic 1, no military skill. We can only hope for the best. So, back to the government now that we have seen the court and the rulers. So what we'll do is we might also include personality traits from the successors too, if they like each other. If you can imagine that they like each other, why shouldn't the heir, if the ruler is old, have to say something about the policies, right? So, we are in a monarchy, a tribal monarchy. Heirs are acquired either over time or through event choices. If the monarch dies before your heir reaches maturity, Regency Council can take over, preventing the declaration of wars. Our Sultanate uses a tribal form of government. This means we will suffer frequent rebellions, that we cannot change government to a non-tribal type unless we first reform the government. So, this is gonna be interesting. Monarchs also have consorts. As you can see here, we don't have a consort yet. That can be acquired either through your royal marriages, through events, or when an heir is created. Consort will rule until the heir reaches maturity instead of a regency council. So, we'll hopefully get a good one. So, we can build up tribal allegiances. As you can see here, we can enlist a general for tribal allegiances. We can train horsemanship for better cavalry combat ability, even better one. We already have improved ones. And we can get conscripts from tribes. 6 Muslim cavalry archers. That is quite a force. I think we have 14 or 15 regiments at the moment, and so 6 would be great, just great. So how do you build up tribal allegiance? Through events, winning battles, and humiliating enemies. So if you're peaceful, you are a little bit in trouble. That form of government. This value increases the rate at which you build up manpower, reduces unrest in your entire country. So, got to go to war against the unrest, right? 3 government interactions. Already seen these. And our government is augmented by the estates of the realm, can differ from country to country, but represent strong interest groups that can give you powerful benefits. As you can see here, we have amirs giving manpower recovery speed. So a speedy return to power will be very helpful in a short war, not in a long one. So we're going for Blitzkrieg, Qara, Qoyunlu. Blitzkrieg, Black Sheep. We have good tolerance of heathens, which helps if you get some colonies under your control. Then from different countries, we have merchant guilds, increasing the trade efficiency, which is very good in the Arabian region with the many trade centers. And Ulima increasing the national tax modifier by a lot, which is of course quite good. There's that. So, environment. We are playing in Asia. Tributary state is a special subject type that is the most common in East Asia. I mean, we have vassals, but tributaries. Overlord either belongs to Eastern religion group or horde government type. So we get tribute payments if we at all go for tributary states instead of vassals. So that is all the interesting things to know about Qara Qoyunlu. Let's see how we'll interpret the ruler, and maybe let's choose something nice here to listen. At the gates of Constantinople. We're not yet there. What do we have? We have temple ambitions. No, that's not good. Yeah, let's go for the caravan. The caravan sounds just about right. Yeah, that's what we want to do. So there's a lot of things you can do in the country to make it better, to get a good start. As you can see here, the manpower is already halved, so that might recover. Then we need to get some advisors. As you can see here, we have financial advisors, and from these, to choose from these is slightly hard because they won't help us at all. Maybe the one with the national tax modifier, but he's a Copt, so might not choose him. Then we have advisors in the diplomatic realm here. They might also influence our decisions. Improve relations would be a good idea to have him early on for alliances, and spy network construction would be the same, but I think it's good to stabilize the realm first. Then we have here military advisors, reinforced speed. We already have good reinforced speed, so that wouldn't be the best thing. Maybe Iskander Yuan, national manpower modifier plus 10% would be a good choice. He's a Sunni though. Don't we have someone following the Shia? Yeah, we have Jafari, but he has +2. And we have Najaf Shahi in reducing inflation. Would be good too. And yeah, but we have no inflation as of yet. What should we specialize in? I mean, Sultan Jahan Shah Qara Qoyunlu as a bold fighter would probably prefer military power, but he knows that he must stabilize the land, so he might not focus on anything. So, because he's such a strong fighter, we will either go for a national focus of military power or for no focus at all. He is not able to focus on administrative power or diplomatic power. That's our roleplay house rule. That would be against his personality. He could say, I want to balance things. Or he would go like, I'm going full military. This is it. But not specializing in administration. He won't going for the books all the time. He's a bold fighter. He wants to fight, basically. And if he cannot fight, then he will restrain himself a little bit. then, for example, his successor might be totally the other way around. He could go like, I'm totally for administrative power, because I'm at least a little bit good at that, and the others I won't focus in. Let's look around. We have a lot of problems because we have the non-accepted culture Mashriki. Now, to change that, to be able to promote the culture, we have to save up around 120 diplomatic power. And then we can get rid of the Armenian, which is in the mountains here. We can look at that here together. Armenian here. That is accepted, but do we really want to expand into the direction of the Ottomans? If we can expand, probably not. And the Great Horde is here, so that is probably not a good culture to promote. We would like to demote the culture, but only when we can promote Mashriki, so we have to save up a little bit of diplomatic power. Mashriki now is here, and that is a lot of provinces we have, among them Baghdad. We would really, really love to convert Baghdad to our religion and then convert the culture. But it's not possible because local missionary strength -2%. That will change when we accept Mashriki culture. So we will be able to get Baghdad and to get the inland center of trade of Baghdad into our control. As you can see, we have Tabriz here, and we could maybe get later on the Qara estuary from Shirvan. But Shirvan, we don't want to lead a war against them. In theory, we want to ally them, because they're one of the few friends we have here, except Ardabil. They will also be happy to join us in an alliance. We have two relations still open. We have 2 vassals already, and we might just go, if we don't want to have other scholars. You can see here, could invite scholars. And the most likely is Jafari, which is, I think, possible here. And the other one is at the Rasids and would be Zaidi. So shock damage, that would be very helpful. Shock damage received reduced would also be good. At least. We are Ismaili and so getting legitimacy mostly, and the other bonuses we've already seen. So, Momo. What are our rivals? Our rivals, as they have declared themselves, are Ajam, the Mamluks, and the Great Horde. And there's no reason not to take them as well as rivals. Ajam would be probably the natural enemy we have in this scenario. And what else do we have to address? We have high expenses, so we will have to do something with the fort maintenance and bring the army maintenance down, and in general get a little bit more development, probably in the capital area here of Tabriz. But what we also have to do around Tabriz is convert people to Shia. So, apart from Baghdad, we also want to convert here first, because that makes absolutely sense. And we could help that, either with going for some development, or we could go enforcing religious unity and make it quicker here. So, we'll convert region by region. We'll have to have that for nearly 2 years, but it will be a good choice. It will definitely be a good choice. Then let's look at the missions we have possible here. Now, why would you play Qoyunlu? We could, depending on how it goes, either expand east, probably the easier way, or expand west. If we go east, we can form the Mughal Empire. If we go into India, getting a lot of claims, as you can see here, and very good modifiers, and we're going to be Indians then. Or we could go form the Persian nations, more to the west and the Arabian region, gaining only the permanent claim on Persia, but of course a little bit more Arabian, right? So there's other good national decisions we would love to reach if we would complete innovative ideas, which doesn't look like it, but we could get even less idea cost and more stability cost modifier. The Ibadat Khana. If our heir comes to the government very early on, we might go into that direction because he's a fervent administrator. Or if we get trades furthering that endeavor, we will also go for that. Now, as you can see here, we should definitely go for religious unity, as that is the main source of unrest in our country. And the unrest is big. Our subjects like us okay, except for the religious school here. And you can see here, to boost the stability, as I'd normally do, to +1, isn't possible so easily. 170, that's... wow. You don't want to be there. You would rather, of course, convert. So it will be easier to get the stability up. Then I mean, we have talked about the friends we could have. Shirvan would be one. And Ardabil would be one. But there are also other smaller countries there, like Gazimukh, that could help us. Or even Georgia. So, we'll see. Also, it's depending on the events we get, which path we choose. As this is a Let's Roleplay, events can quite influence the plan we have. What would be the plan at the moment? As much as our good leader is a bold fighter, he has won shortly a lot of territory, and there's a big mix of cultures. So he wants to stabilize. He doesn't want to focus into any direction. He would only be able to focus on military. He would balance that out. And look at the age of discovery and what we can reach there. We can probably not discover America. That would be a great wonder. We can control more centers of trade if we're lucky. There are a lot of centers of trade in the Arabian region. We could control a large city. If we save up some points, we have very good abilities of our monarch. So he will be able to develop a large city. The large city is good to spread a lot of movements. For example, the Renaissance. But getting the Renaissance here would be wonderful, but nearly impossible. Then a feudal society, more vassals. That would be probably possible with all the smaller countries here. That might be a good choice. Present on 2 continents is something we could attempt, We could be in Africa, in Asia, and in Europe at the same time without any problem. We could humiliate a rival. That is definitely possible. At least Ajam is not in a good position, and if we're lucky, we can strike there without many problems and make them suffer a bit for it. So, there is great times ahead. We'll start with, give me the outlier. Hormuz. Yeah, there is a trader here who is trying to collect from there. That is beyond me. We cannot collect anything there, if I'm not mistaken. Our main trading port is Persia. So we want to move our trade to Persia, and that is something we can do in Hormuz. We'll transfer the trade power, giving us 20 to Basra, and in turn even more to Persia. So a little bit more income doing that. To look at all the factions here. Worst is probably the Iraqi, 10% chance of rising, and Armenians, which will not accept, so we might have Armenian separatists coming. More, not really more. Even from our capital, there are separatists that might visit us. So, more questions. What advisors should we take? Can we even afford them? That is the question. We'll have to look to the fort maintenances. Might even destroy the castles to be able to get more wriggling room in the future. From a financial standpoint. I mean, we could leave this, but I don't know if this in Baghdad is needed. It is, don't get me wrong, it's very helpful to protect Baghdad that way, but it is so costly. Denouncement of sect practices is something we should probably do, but we want to convert first. So we have a lot of decisions. We will take these decisions in the next episode. And so much for you. I'd like to hear some feedback from you if you are interested. What would you do as the great Sultan Jahan Shah Qara? Qoyunlu, would you take some loans and just take over your neighbors to gain the money that fills our coffers again? Would that be what you do? Or would you rather be a little bit more careful at the moment and do something what we are maybe a little bit more likely to do? So we get to our land force limit and then strike. And we get to our land force limit without going bankrupt. So, thank you for watching. Let's unleash the power of the black sheep in the next episode together. And happy gaming to you. This is Immanuel signing out. Have a good time. Until next time.